Right, as nuts as this sounds, when we get to the end of 2022, AEW will be 4 years old if we all buy into the fact that it was born on the 1st of January 2019. This basically means we're getting to the stage where you can't call it a new promotion anymore, and when you start doing that, the inner workings of such a thing start to change. This is all perfectly normal and good because you want to be progressing and you want to be evolving and you want to be moving forward. It means you're making a success of yourself, but it also means when it comes to a direction, you may be about to go down a new path. Why? Here's why. So here's the rumour we shall use to start building this chat, and as always remember, it's a rumour. Nobody actually knows what is going on behind closed doors unless you were in the room. And even when this information does come out, don't forget it's probably coming from a third party. So you can whisper to someone, hey, my cat's wearing a hat, and by the time it gets to us, it's like there's a dog and he won the Super Bowl. And that only happens in Disney films. But yes, you may have seen that MJF and the boss of AEW, Tony Khan, have come to a little bit of an impasse. Because on the one hand, over here, Maxwell is saying, hey, I think I'm worth more to this promotion now. Can I have more money? Whereas Tony is like, well, that sounds faboo. Why don't we do that and also extend the deal? That makes sense. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. I know, sometimes you don't have an itch, but you just got to get to scratching. Just pretend you like it and go, oh, that's so nice. Now the twist comes in the fact that apparently MJF doesn't want to increase his dates anymore, because obviously when we get to 2024, he wants to do the Great Bidding War. Now as we have got here, I want to make it very clear, given the character of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, this very well could be a work. Because we all know how good MJF is, and Tony Khan is a smart tamale. I can see them sitting down and going, we'll get everybody talking. And look, we are literally talking about it right now. However, if there is some more fuel to the fire, well, this is the change of direction I'm talking about. I mean, it was always going to happen as a company did grow, and in fact, you should actively look for these changes. But when All Elite Wrestling did come into this world, it was very much a whole, well, I'll help you, if you help me, and then we can help them, and then we'll have a help circle, and everything will be great. I mean, they started at 0 and wanted to get to 10, and in order to do that, they had to have one singular vision. And while those crazies would have you think otherwise, it is not the case. AEW has smashed it, they are a success. The next step was always going to be expansion, when we saw the likes of Christian Cage, CM Punk, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson coming in, and given their star status, they wanted a certain piece of this pie, and the only way to do that was to push other people to the outside. That's what Elton John was singing about, it's a circle of life. I mean, Joey Janela was so involved in the company a few years ago, as was Marco Stunt when he used to come out with the Jurassic Express, but now in 2022, they ain't even with the thing anymore. And I bet if I had told you that in 2020, you would have looked at me like, man, you such a bored a-hole. But you can't please everyone forever, and you're not always going to see eye to eye. And while we may never find out the ifs and buts, this seems to be exactly what happened with Cody Rhodes, who decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to WWE. And now we've all kind of got used to this, because that's how the wrestling world works. There's so much news being thrown at our face, we just zoom through it. But this is still absolutely bonkers, and it's absolutely nuts. One of the pillars of AEW, who helped build the thing, is now no longer there, because they went back to World Wrestling Entertainment. I mean, do not forget, it was such a crazy story at the time, it outclicked the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've been doing this for months, I still can't get my head around it. So this will ultimately also work both ways, and is likely one of the reasons that when Cesaro's WWE deal came up, he said, hey, here's what I would like as a figure, and when WWE said no, he went, all right, see you, pal, and went off to do something else. Because yeah, look at it like this. 2 years ago, is MJF going to burst into Tony Khan's office and say, excuse me, I'd like more money? No, but now, given how big AEW has become, and because MJF has been an integral part of that, he starts to speak out. So the goalposts start to move, but so have Tony Khan's, because does TK, as people call him, want to lose at MJF? Of course he doesn't. He would be a success in any promotion he went to, but could he also move his chess pieces in order to facilitate the fact that if he does go away, his product would still keep ticking over? You bet your ass. I mean, that has been his MMO for a while. Kenny Omega was one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet in 2021, and he's been gone for like 6 months now as he rehabs a bunch of injuries, and while we all miss him, the machine has continued to turn forward. You can also have to throw into the mixer that any wrestler with any momentum can probably get what they do want, because now they're these two entities that will potentially fight over them. I know we've said this before, but I'm saying it again. This is why WWE versus AEW is so important, because it takes the He-Man power and it puts it back in the wrestler's pocket. So let's just make up some figures. Just make them up because it's fun to be a massive nerd. MJF wants $2 million a year and he's currently on $800,000, and that is quite the raise. He takes it to Tony Khan. Tony Khan says, okay, but I want to move your end date from 2024 to 2026. And WWE then gets word about this and they say, well, MJF, we'll give you $3.5 million when your contract is up in 2024, and we'll only sign you for 3 years. He may start to think. And if you really want to go full crazy, maybe he asks All Elite Wrestling for his release, and maybe he gets it. And you can't sit there and say this would never happen, because remember, never say never, and go back to everything with Cody Rhodes. Let us jump back to May 2021. Say I was making a video and I just threw in there, oh man, Cody Rhodes will be going back to WWE next year. You would have come down the camera lens and you would have started punching me in the face because you would have been so mad. But now 12 months on, after my bruises had faded, I'd be like, ha, I was right. Now none of that happened, but we just don't know. There's no right or wrong here either. Both parties are just trying to do what's best for themselves. But when AEW started, it was like, man, we got to get this party rolling. But now they're rocking, so it actually comes down to individuals and specific careers. And do you want to know who the real winners to all of this are? It's us, the fans. We get so much news, we get people jumping ship. And don't pretend the debut isn't the best thing in all of professional wrestling, because it is. That and turn the lights off. So I suppose it's like a brand new garage band finally getting to play the big stadiums, and you can't operate how you did do, otherwise you're going to hit a brick wall. So if this is what we're calling All Elite Wrestling right now, then hell yeah, onwards and upwards. But as we all know, because we've all been employees and we've all worked in an office, no matter what your job may be, when you see profits going up and you see the wider world going, well, wow, what's this little thing that I'm so excited about? If you believe you are worth more than you're currently getting, what do? You go to a door, you go knock, 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 and you say, hey there, chief, we gotta have a little bit of a chat. Because do not forget, as we often do, wrestlers are just human beings too. So you want to break it right down, essentially AEW is out of the startup phase now, and it just is. It's a promotion, it's a company. There are some people out there who only watch All Elite Wrestling, and I think that is flubbing fabu. And I tell you, when we get to like 2030, it's going to be like wrestling tennis. So many people are going to jump from AEW to WWE. So many people are going to jump from WWE to AEW. Money is just going to be flying up the wham, and I'll still be watching it. Even when I'm 82 years old, I'll be going, oh my God, maybe Roman Reigns is going to turn up with Dynamite. And I'll be like, man, what the hell is going on? And what have I done with my life? But as long as I'm happy, I will have won. Now, please do leave a comment below and let me know the answers to the following questions. 1, where does MJF go in 2024? B, is this all a work, or actually are we onto something here? And 3, how are you doing today? I like to know. Then like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head on to whatculture.com, where we will keep you up to date with this story. Make sure you come follow us on social media. We have a lot of videos, a ton of them. All I am asking is watch one. My name is Simon What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. I kind of feel like there's something going on here, that maybe hoods are being pulled over our eyes, but I'm totally cool with that. You get some wrestling fans in 2022 like, I can't believe they worked me. That's all I watch wrestling for. I want to be tricked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And once again, I want the lights to go on and off. I know I mention it a lot, and no one has ever turned a light on and off by doing this. It's like I'm frying up some eggs. The point is, it's brilliant. Some people moan about it, and I want you to stop. Goodbye.